So now, because what we are trying to do is we try to come up with this object, that eligible course object, okay? Based on, try to work it against the grades. Okay. So what you are going to do is you try to say whether or not, what you need to do is you need to say whether or not the prerequisite information for this course has been satisfied or not. Okay. We test the prerequisite information. Okay, that's the step 1. Step 2, what I'm going to do, I'm going to see if the course had been taken. Okay? Had been taken. If it has been taken, you do not like to do it again. Okay? So the first thing that I like to do is I try to say the course prerequisite is in the list of the grades. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. So this course prerequisite 1, okay, whether or not it is in the grades or not. Okay, but there's one thing that's special. You may have an NA, which means there is no such a prerequisite. So you need to handle that, because if you don't handle that, you will never get a match in the grades for the NA because there's no course that's called NA. Okay, so the first thing that we are trying to do is we say if course, let's dot get prerequisite 1 dot equals NA. What does this mean? You will be eligible to take, right? Because there is no prerequisite for this one. Okay? There is no prerequisite for this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a one. This is the result that I'm going to have. This means that you are eligible to take. So what we are going to do with the result is equal to new eligible course with this course to construct the object. Else. We say if I look at prerequisite 2, whether or not it equals to NA. This one means both prerequisite 1 and 2 are not NA, right? You have this one means prerequisite 2 is is NA, right? So once I know that the prerequisite 1 is not NA, I need to say whether or not you are eligible, you have passed the prerequisite 1 for this one. Okay? Okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say if you have passed. Okay, if you have passed. And if you have passed, then you are going to receive a grade, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the course taking. Okay? This is a specific grade is equal to pass with for this prerequisite 1 against these grades. I'll create such a method. What it would do, this will be really, really simple. All I'm interested in to do is I would get the grade information about prerequisite against grades. Is that clear? How could you do that? What does this mean? I'm going to return I found it. Otherwise, I'm going to return a null. Is that clear? So that's what I have. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do if this grade, in fact, I'm going to change this to grade 1. Okay. If the grade 1 is not equal to null, it makes sense for me to continue. If the grade 1 is equal to null, it means that prerequisite has not been satisfied. Right? You are not going to create the eligible course object because you are not eligible to take. Okay? Now, this is the same. Whenever you have this, make sure that you reformat the code to make it a little bit easier to read. Indentation is very, very important. So now you would understand that this is the beginning and this is the end. Okay? So this means the grade 1 is, you pass this means prerequisite 1 is parsed. Right? Now, if this guy is equal to NA, what does that mean? It means you only have prerequisite 1 and you are ready to go. Right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let the result get created again. I would let the result dot set prerequisite 1 with a grade 1. Is that clear? Similarly, I will do grade 2. I will look at the prerequisite 2. Now, if grade 2 is not equal to null, we are going to do that. Oh, yes. Yeah, if grade 2 is not equal to null, which means we should create such an object. And we are going to set the grade 2's information. Is this clear? Okay? And you probably would like to put a little comment and say, both prerequisite 1 and 2 are satisfied. And then what you need to do is you say whether or not the course had been taken. That's very, very easy to do, right? How could you say whether or not the course had been taken? We say if parse course dot get the number against all the grades if it is equal to null, which means it has not been taken. Okay? If it has not been taken, what we are going to do is we are going to return the result that you just created. Okay? We say if not taken, return result. Otherwise, return null. Okay? Is this clear to everybody for this implementation? This is the most complicated method. And if you just look at the most complicated one, it is not that long. Okay? Probably 20 some lines. And all you have to do is do it step by step. You would understand what's going on, what's the requirement, what you need to produce on this object. And you check each and every condition specified here. Okay? And now let's bring back to the original method. And I will try to say if C is not equal to null, which means that you are eligible to take this guy, what I'm going to do is first I'm going to compute the strings. C dot compute strings. Okay? And then I'm going to add the C in. And we are not done with compute the strings yet. Create compute strings. Compute the strings based on okay? How could we compute the strings? You need to look at the formula, right? We say if you don't have any prerequisite, which means if the prerequisite 1 is equal to null, what's the strings? That clear? Which means you have the prerequisite 1. Okay? if the prerequisite 2 is equal to now, what's the formula? Else both the prerequisite 1 and the prerequisite 2 are not equal to now. What we are going to do is we are going to say this dot strings equals, that will be the numerical grade, right? That will be grade of prerequisite 1, right? Let's do this. I would get the grade. I'll convert that to a double, okay? And then I'm going to let the grade 2 dot get grade. Then I'm going to divide it by 2. And I don't have the grade yet. Let's try to create a method that called grade, and should not be an integer, should be a double. Oh, in fact, integer. Yeah, I like to use double because later I need a double. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say if the grade equals A, return 4, else if grade dot equals B, I'm going to return a 3, if the grade is equal to C, I'm going to return a 2. That's what we are going to do. And the reason that I created this method is it would just, I do not have to write the comparison again in the program. So that's the modularity that you need to achieve. Instead of you try to compare A, B, C, D within this program, you try to create this one and you can use it multiple times. Okay? And let's get back here. If the prerequisite 2 is equal to now, what's the strengths? The 4 is here already. If you have the prerequisite 1 is not equal to now, which means that you have already have the prerequisite 1. So what's the strength here? So it will be the grade of prerequisite 1, right? Do I need to do this plus a 4? Divided by 2? And we compute the strengths. Something wrong here. Okay, we computed the strengths. And we get back to curriculum. Everything is good. Okay? And now we are ready. Except the sorting. Other than sorting, we would do the sorting in the main method. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create the main. I call this as advising. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the input again, put it into a curriculum. I'll create another list that's called grades. I'll start working. I'll let the program start working. Okay. So first I'll create curriculum. Okay? Let me upload this first.